We tend to look for villains in the shadows, expecting an obvious monster, but the most effective manipulators often sit in the next cubicle, looking entirely ordinary. These individuals often appear popular and effortlessly charismatic. They navigate complex social dynamics with a precision that allows them to win trust almost instantly. They are difficult to spot because they operate within a subclinical space, a gray area where behavior is destructive but doesn't quite trigger a medical intervention. Living in this subclinical zone means they lack a formal mental health diagnosis, yet they possess a toxic cluster of behaviors that can dismantle the lives of those around them. Psychologists categorize this specific predatory profile as the Dark Triad. Without a map of these distinct components, their gaslighting and deceit can be indistinguishable from genuine charm. The Dark Triad is an overlapping framework of 3 distinct behavioral pillars. The first is narcissism, a state of toxic self-esteem characterized by grandiosity and a compulsive need for external admiration. At the highest levels of power, this often manifests in national leaders who believe they are the singular, world-changing solution to global crises. This self-belief can easily slide into extreme overconfidence and aggressive self-promotion to protect a carefully curated reputation. The second pillar is Machiavellianism, the strategic tendency to manipulate and lie for personal gain, while viewing morality as an obstacle. This mindset breeds deep paranoia. The history of the Lubyanka and KGB espionage represents the ultimate environment for this deceptive spy versus spy behavior. Vladimir Putin embodies this trait today, demonstrating how a lifetime of strategic deception and paranoia eventually leads to profound isolation. The final pillar is psychopathy, marked by high impulsivity, recklessness, and a fundamental void of empathy or remorse. While each trait is damaging alone, their true destructive power is unleashed in the center of the diagram, where these 3 behaviors overlap in everyday life. Because these individuals constantly crave both admiration and control, they project a highly engineered mask of superficial charm. They may use love bombing during a first date or a job interview, overwhelming a target with attention to rapidly manufacture trust. They also utilize paltering, a deceptive tactic where they tell partial truths to craft a completely misleading impression of their character. Once that trust is secured, the manipulator's empathy deficit emerges, and the relationship becomes purely transactional. At this stage, they deploy gaslighting and guilt-tripping to dismantle a victim's confidence and slowly alter their sense of reality. They may even use triangulation, intentionally turning friends or coworkers against one another to cement their own central authority. This cocktail of charm and emotional void turns human connection into a predatory game, where the sole objective is extracting value. Everyday manipulation eventually escalates over time as the manipulator grows bored and actively seeks out extreme, unnecessary risks. This is driven by psychopathic impulsivity, a neurological craving for intense sensations that standard social interactions can no longer provide. These risks range from financial gambles to reckless health decisions and dangerous recreational activities. Because they lack compassion, they routinely gamble with the physical and financial lives of those around them as readily as their own. They often actively pressure and coerce their partners or coworkers into participating in these extreme scenarios. Coercing others into danger is a calculated mechanism to test psychological boundaries and assert absolute dominance over their environment. Understanding the Dark Triad provides a framework to identify a specific, dangerous pattern of charm, manipulation, and recklessness, an alternative to simply guessing at a coworker's motives. It is a reality that you cannot fix a Dark Triad personality, nor can a normal person outmanipulate them. The primary psychological defense is the gray rock method, limiting your emotional reactions until you become entirely uninteresting to the manipulator. Protecting yourself further requires establishing firm behavioral expectations and maintaining rigid physical and emotional distance. By recognizing the playbook and refusing to provide the emotional reactions they feed on, you strip the manipulator of the one thing they crave most, their power over you.